Will Anthem be casual gaming? A first look, February 2019. Anthem is an upcoming title developed by Bioware and published by EA, where you take control of large robotic suits called Javelins to combat the savage world that is being torn apart by energy storms, factional warfare, and mutated abominations. Billed as a shared open world, you acquire in complete missions to collect loot and rewards to improve your character and pilot up to 4 different Javelins, each with their own playstyle. But will this be casual gaming? I tested this with friends on the open beta weekend, so this first look is based purely on this experience. I understand this represents a portion of the full game, so the experiences are bound to change upon release, and different areas or changes may address any issues I make. It should also be noted that this is close to release. This build is most likely the one that everyone will experience, so there won't be any major changes between now and then when Anthem comes out. Also, I was streaming Anthem to get a bit of footage over the weekend, but it managed to fail spectacularly. So while I did complete the demo with a full squad, I didn't get decent footage of squad play. Oh, that's cool.
What?
Oh, the Javelin opens up.
Yeah.
The world of Anthem for this first look is based on 2 areas, Fort Tarsus and a small portion of the full map world when you leave the station in your Javelin. Fort Tarsus is considered the hub world, where you progress your story, interact with characters, find missions, craft materials and load out your Javelin. This is very much a single player base of operations, so you won't see other players or Javelins in this hub. At this stage, I do not know if Fort Tarsus can be upgraded or anything like that, but it more seems to be a vehicle to progress the storyline. Character interactions and voice are great, with full motion capture and dialogue. I don't know how the story is going to go, as the bits that were in the demo felt mediocre. I also found a few characters too close to other areas to interact, such as Faye being next to the Forge console, and I've accidentally struck up a conversation with her instead of looking at my Javelin.
Look who it is. You certainly know how to put a javelin through its paces. Never just go for a stroll out there, do you?
Do you expect any less?
I shouldn't.
But Fort Tarsus feels authentic and enjoyable to walk around, and areas that you can't access at the moment hold promise for more. Some characters and vendors even change their outfits, along with day-night cycles on top. It just feels a bit empty, and the ambient sound and some of the music is incredibly irritating, and right where you spend most of your time in this game. The world outside is a standard wild area full of ancient ruins, natural areas and broken settlements. The world looks incredible and the creature design fantastic. Your Javelin can fly almost anywhere it has enough power to, and there are even underwater areas that you can dive deep into, so it's fully immersive. Depending if you have a mission or free play, you can be locked off certain areas and it resets, so you keep close to the mission. But I didn't find any hidden walls or areas that didn't fit with the style of the game. Creatures and mobs have distinctive design and behaviour style, which adds additional depth. It is interesting that the enemies are a mix of futuristic and then mythical type creatures such as elementals. It will be interesting to see how it plays out in the story. We tested Anthem on PC and with different configurations. Anthem will test your specs, but we were also surprised it could handle older cards on low settings okay with a bit of a frame rate drop. I can't really talk about the frame rate drop, even on good PCs, because I suspect the servers were overloaded due to the demo, but we were encountering random glitches and gun-locked firing, but not game-breaking bugs as there were in the private beta. All in all, it wasn't bad. Controls with Anthem are a bit of an issue, with the majority of the first hour trying to get the hang of flying with a mouse. With flying the largest part of the game experience and the majority of the way to travel, using the mouse reticle was a challenge, and really felt like it was more key to a controller. Then on top of that, in some missions you were underwater, which switched to fly mode, and it was incredibly confusing to orientate yourself and the direction you needed to go. This was going to be the source of a lot of frustration with new players, and I found myself crashing to walls or falling down ravines, just wrestling with the flying aspect. However, the biggest issue I found with Anthem was the interface for PC, which feels that the base game was made for consoles. Interacting with menus was fiddly, and some areas I thought were locked out but needed an extra button click or even pressing the keys to get them to register. Even the party menu felt clunky, and sometimes a squad leader changing things would change the ready status for everyone and mess things up. It wasn't a fun experience. The gameplay for Anthem follows the basic RPG concepts of completing quests for rewards. This is a looter shooter at its core, so it's basically find a party from your hub and head out to complete the mission. You can set the difficulty in the mission hub that should give you more rewards. There were 3 missions that we had access to and 1 dungeon. The missions were essentially fetch quests that involved clearing out encampments, interacting with items, and then moving on to the next marker on the map. The story kept things interesting, but the questing is hardly innovative at this stage. There was a boss fight that kept things going for a little while, but there were a lot of trash mobs that kept the fight more annoying than anything. These missions took about 20 minutes to complete from start to finish. The dungeon was a standard sweep and clear mission with excellent environments and a great boss fight at the end which did test us. By this time we all had different javelins, so we were testing each of them. Here we could see how the styles were either good or bad at various aspects of the boss fight and how to spec your build to help out. The dungeon took about an hour to complete from start to finish, and it was really fun. There are 2 currencies in Anthem, coin and shards, which are respective in-game currency and purchased with real money currency. At this stage, everything can be purchased and earned with in-game currencies, and there are no loot boxes or pay-to-win features. There has been some outcry that the prices of skins, vinyls and packs are exorbitant, and there is comparison to issues like Star Wars Battlefront 2, but these are cosmetic items and not specifically locked characters, so it's not really comparable. You do have access to a vault where your weapons are stored, and there are crafting recipes available. You can salvage unused weapons for scrap to craft new weapons, and you can specifically set the rarity directly from the menu, so it looks like recipes are weapon types only, not blueprints for each weapon type and rarity. So from what we can extrapolate from the demo and public information available, there will be a bit to do at launch that fall into the standard MMO world. The story missions from your hub where you can put together a party and complete them. One good thing we tested is your missions are your own and independent of your party. So for example, we finished with a party of 3 and did the first 2 missions. Then we had a 4th member jump in, so we made him squad leader, and we could go back and help him complete his missions that we still got rewarded for. This felt very much like The Division in that aspect. Once you've completed a mission, you can go back and help anyone else that you need to. There will be strongholds that you can assault with a party that provide decent rewards, and there will be 3 available on launch. There have also been talk about raids, but no information has been forthcoming, so the idea of multiple parties taking on a world boss certainly sounds interesting, but we really do need more information. There is also free play mode, where you can put a party together and just roam the world collecting crafting materials, clearing out areas that appear as events, which also drops special loot. The customization and loadout looks to be quite deep and interesting. More than a few times we had to stop what we were doing and pull together to actually do a mission because we were all messing around with the customizations and loadout menu. With interesting loot on offer, this should be hours of fun tweaking your Javelin. The primary issue from any casual gamer is whether you can play at your speed and liking for the content, as well as being able to access worthwhile rewards, and here Anthem looks troubling, particularly if you like single player and don't have many friends playing Anthem. It seems Anthem is taking on the concept from The Division, where the main story missions you can matchmake on the fly and find other people who need to do it or have completed it. With The Division, however, you could complete the story and have access to good gear and tech without matchmaking. Anthem certainly feels like at this stage this is not the case. With actual combo abilities in the game, and already things found like using Storm to freeze an elite so the Interceptor can get up and close for damaging melee, Anthem is going to be very squad based, even with Bioware stating that single player experience is going to be less rewarding. Even the systems menu will keep trying to set you up a public party so other people can join in on your instance. You can make your party private so you can play with 3 players or such like, but free players open party regardless, so random people will join your instance. You may like this idea, but you're going to struggle if you want to collect resources or knock out the storyline, not having to deal with random players, which can either be a positive or negative experience. That also said, we don't know yet if it's just going to be 4 players in each instance, or does things like free play allow more players in the instance to help out. With talk of raids, there is hope that the world will be a bit more populated, but the raids themselves could just be instanced. It also seems that the endgame content is not solo friendly at all, so all those rewards would be locked out. Anthem doesn't have trading options or an auction house or in-game item sharing, which means that you're going to have to find a team or try your luck with a random party, and that's a substantial time sink in itself. So, will this be a game for the casual player? I hope so, but from the demo we've played, there are some strong reservations. The game looks gorgeous, and a great world desperate for exploration, but this game relies on team-based gameplay, and while there is single-player story and content, there leaves a lot to be desired as if this is going to actually be solo play friendly. After we finished the demo and dungeons, I asked our team what they really thought of it, and while one is strongly considering buying it, the rest of us were pretty cool on the idea. The battles were great, the boss missions were fun and varied, customization and design was very enjoyable. But we could all see that we would all need to buy the game and then set up and plan our times to play together to really enjoy the experience. Sure, we could log on ourselves and grab some materials and recipes in free play and set up our loadouts for the next dungeon run or epic missions, but there didn't seem to be options to work on things at our own pace without other players or interference. I could be wrong and the campaign could be knocked out solo easily like The Division or Destiny 2, and then you are needing to find ways to make harder difficulties in which a squad would be required. The open beta demo didn't have major technical issues that plagued The Division, which killed the player base. The story seemed deep and interactive, with a lot more content than Destiny 2, so we shall see on that. But The Division and Destiny 2 demos had more controllable player interactions with a central hub that other players could meet and see each other, and systems that didn't force the player together. Anthem's hub felt empty and alone, the party system clunky. If you have a group of friends that want to play or are okay with squadding up with matchmaking system, I believe Anthem will offer you some great gameplay and content. But this is not going to be the next biggest thing, and it won't be the best experience for casual play. I've followed Anthem for a long time, and I want it to succeed, but I'm playing the waiting game for the moment just to see what it can do.